Alright guys, we're back. Haven't had any in detail like videos I could have made recently, so just trying to find a couple that I can show you guys a few things on. So if you have a Nissan around the year of 2010 and you have your airbag light blinking like this and your horn doesn't work, you have some issues. You won't pass state inspection if you're in PA. I'm not sure about other places, but your airbag system also isn't working right, obviously. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna hook your scan tool up, you're gonna get your codes. So I already got the codes for this one. Let's see what they were. So I have a B1049 and a B1054, both the same description, driver airbag module open. So guys, I already diagnosed the issue. It is the clock spring. I'm just going to show you guys how to do it. You guys can look up the OEM manufacturer testing for this. But I definitely don't recommend just replacing parts because this is a very expensive part. So definitely look it up, make sure that's your issue, test out your clock spring and all that, because there's a number of things it could be, including like the horn inside the steering wheel, the airbag module. So just make sure you guys are going to start with taking off the two 10mm nuts in the battery posts and pull the posts off of the battery. Let them sit for about 5 minutes before you start working on this. Next thing you guys want to do is grab a flathead screwdriver, and on the bottom of the steering wheel here there's a hole. You're going to go through that hole and press this little tab. So I can get it on the video. There's a little tab in there that you press up. It's not really focusing, but you can see it. So we're going to get in there, press that tab up. And then pull the horn pad off. Carefully because there's wires connected to it. Gonna have to use my second hand here, I think. But you guys can see the pad starting to come off. That tab is basically a spring that holds this on. And I'm gonna have to press it with my one hand and kind of get a better grip on it and pull. Here's a little bit of a better view for you guys. So I'm getting down in there, pressing on this spring, and then just kind of working the horn pad out. Gonna have to wiggle it a little bit. So you can't pull it all the way out because it has wires attached to it. I'll show you how to get those off in a second. So now we can take off our ground wires. This yellow one, you got a little push tab right here. You push that in, pull that off. Now these next ones are only slightly more difficult. You have this orange one and the yellow one. They're color coded, so you don't have to worry about where they go at the end. You'll be able to figure it out. All you have to do is get a small screwdriver in and pry that black clip up right here, and then these literally pull right off. So I got the orange one off to show you. The yellow one, a little bit of trouble, but you get the screwdriver in the back side of it, get under there and pop it up. Luckily I'm able to get that one on video. Thought I was going to need my other hand. But yeah, you pop that up and then it just pulls off and out comes your horn pad. So we'll leave that on the seat for now. Next step, you want to get this little gray one out. That's no problem. Get your same little screwdriver on the side there. Press the tab in. Try to see it on the video. Don't know if I'm going to be able to get this in the video for you guys. Give me 1 second. A little bit better. You usually don't want to pull on the wires, but in this case, this one's so tight in there that you kind of just got to be careful and jiggle them out. All right, so next step, what you guys want to do, you want to make sure the steering wheel is straight. You don't want to take this wheel off and put it back on crooked. You want to make sure the wheels are straight. So I already know my wheels are straight, my steering wheel is straight. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to take this nut off. I believe it's an 18mm nut. So I'm going to go get the tools to take that off now, and we'll be right back. It's actually a 19mm. You live and you learn, I guess. So you're going to get your 19mm socket on there. You can use a ratchet as well if you want. I'm just going to use my little 3/8 impact because it's strong enough to get that off.
So get that nut off. We'll put it in the cup holder so we don't lose it. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to pull this steering wheel off. So some people have like a press to get them off. You don't necessarily need that. You can just take it and rock it back and forth and it'll come off. But for safety measures, I'm going to get something and I'm going to mark the top of this spline to the top of where the wheel is on it. That way I know when I put this wheel back on that I'm lined up. I use a little paint pen. You can use whatever you have, a piece of chalk, it doesn't really matter. And you can actually see these have marks on them already, so you know that they're lined up. But I like to just get it on both parts as close as I can, just to make sure that I'm 100% lined up. If you guys don't want to do this and you want to live on the wild side, you do that. I'm sure you would get it lined back up anyway. I just like to do that as like a safety measure for myself and a peace of mind thing. But you know, worst case, if you did put it on and it was a little bit off, you could always take it back off again real quick and realign it. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to pull this wheel off. This part's real easy. You're just going to take the wheel, kind of rock it back and forth, pull it towards you a little bit, and eventually that wheel's going to come out. Be careful because you have these wires, so you got to get them through the wheel. Remember where they came out so you know where they go when you're putting it back on. I think that's it for those. We're going to set the wheel aside and move on to the next step. Next, you want to take that Phillips head out, just to pry this out a little bit so that we can get these covers out of the way. You can take all the Phillips heads out of the bottom of this and the top of it. So I believe you have one there, one there, one there, maybe, I think that's it actually. So you take those out and then you just take this cover and pop it off at the bottom, and that should give you room to get this clock spring out. Alright guys, so the reason you want to take this little Phillips head out of here is so you can, need for that to happen. So the reason you want to get that out of there, so you can pry this out just a little bit to where you'll be able to now take this cover, hopefully. Just make sure there's no more. So you'll take this cover, and in theory, you should be able to pop it out. Go, get in between there with your screwdriver. Pop it off just like that. Top half off. Have this down so you can pull it right out and move on to the next step. Now that we can see what the old clock spring looks like, we can look at the new one and match it up, make sure it's the right part. It is. I would make sure you leave this little lock on here for now to keep it in position. And we're going to start taking the old one completely out now. In order to get the old one out, you have two Phillips heads. One's going to be right there, the other right there. You can see them on the back side. They both go through. So we're going to pull them out, and then I believe you just have this clip on the top that you will press down, that little tab right here, and that should be it. It should pop out. Let's see what happens. So we'll pull out this first one, then we'll take out the second. Hopefully that's it for the Phillips heads. Okay, so you can see it's loose in there now, and we're going to take this tab, push it down, and out comes the whole thing. Alright, so the only thing holding this in now is this white plug, and on the bottom you have another white plug here, and this yellow plug, and it looks like there's a gray one next to it. So you push the center tabs on all of them and just pull them out and they'll come right out. See if I can get it on video for you guys. So get yourself a tiny little screwdriver, press that center tab, sometimes you can hear it click. And then just pry it out, and you're going to do that same thing for the other two plugs. I'm going to need my other hand to do that though. That one. So same thing on these ones. You're going to press the center down on each one, pull them straight out. There's one. Let's see if I can do the second one with one hand. There you go. And there is your old clock spring, guys. So now when it comes time to put the new one in, you're just going to put it all back in reverse order. Make sure you take that aligning clip out when you're ready to finish up the job. Don't leave that in there because it won't turn. Other than that, I believe that's about it. So I almost forgot, we're going to have to transfer this part of the old one onto the new one before we put the new one back in. So you're going to take these real tiny Phillips heads out all around it, and we're going to install this onto the new one. So this is your steering angle sensor. You're going to pull that out. So you have one Phillips head there, one Phillips head up there, and you're going to have one right there. This is already on the new one, so I'm just going to install them onto it. You have to make sure that it lines up inside in the new clock spring as well. So I'm going to figure out how to do that in a second. I believe it just goes in them slots right here. Alright, yeah, so you guys just get it into them slots there. There's going to be one on each side. And then tighten down them Phillips heads and continue to put everything back together in the reverse order. So there you go. There's number one. There's number two. And there's number three. All along, we're all lined up, and we're going to put her back on now. Nope.
Yeah.
I think probably Amy's gonna make you fix that wire. I was gonna say, you want me to leave that thing there? Or
Yeah, might as well.
Alright. Let me know, I'm gonna show you where it's at. I got you.
Yeah.
Alright, as you guys can see, there's no more airbag light flashing. That fixed our issue. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, please give me a like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.